Alright guys, this is Tony with Our World Outdoors, and today we're going to be talking about something different. Today we're going to be showing how we can also enjoy nature at home and save some money so we can go on more adventures. What you're seeing in front of you is a 5-panel solar array. Now the first thing I'm going to say off the bat is I don't do things like everyone else does. I don't call out a company and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to set this up. Now what you're going to see today is a basic setup that there's still some parts coming that will improve the process, but this will give you a general idea. Now these panels are 285 watts each. Alright, and they are not small. They're just under 6 foot tall and about 30 inches wide. And they were a pain to get up here. I'm actually standing on my roof. And I want to shout out to my lovely wife, Melissa, who stood on this roof while I passed her the panels up and then pushed them out on there. But basically, you got somewhere in the neighborhood of 1400 and some watts up here. Now that's maximum in a perfect world condition. That's a factory rating, which you'll almost never hit those numbers out of these panels. And today is an extremely overcast and cloudy day. Just not a good day for solar. But this is array number 1. We actually have another array that's only 2 panels that I'll be doing in another video. But I just want to show you the real basics of this. And it doesn't need to be something crazy that's built. Like this is basically over top of our back deck. It doesn't need to be anything this serious or big built. You can do a ground mount real easy. Really, you have to do your own research on certain things. There's some rules of thumb, but each system's different. Like in my hemisphere where I live, the panels at the bottom need to be pointing south, which they are. And then the angle is based on what time of year you want most power. Right now I'm running mine more towards a summer angle, but they will still catch in the winter quite well. It was just the best of both worlds for my situation as far as angle. But angle is very crucial to how much power you get. Now this array's only been up for a couple of days. I think we're on day 2.5 now. And I've seen some pretty good numbers come out. We've been above 800 watts. But, you know, in the potential in the summer when they're really pushing, they could probably normally at midday see somewhere in the range of 1,000. Like I said, you won't actually get to the 1400 watt, generally speaking. But yeah, let's go underneath the panels and we'll show you the basic concept of the wiring. Okay guys, so if you can tell, each panel has 2 wires coming off it with its module box. Alright, now they're going to come from the factory with an MC4 or MC5 connector. And you can buy connectors to chain them together based upon how you want to do it. I don't do that. I actually cut the wire and create my own combinations. You know, everybody does it different. But you can see I mounted these 3 with the wires at the bottom. And the bottom 2 with the wires at the top so that they'd be close to each other and make that easy to chain them. So, now in this system, I wanted to keep my voltage variable to what it was. I wanted it set. So I put plus to minus, plus to plus all the way through, and minus to minus. Just like if you were using jumper cables on a car. It's called wiring in parallel. The other style is series, where you go plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus. Now when you wire in parallel, your voltage stays constant. Alright, and my grid tie that I use with this is a certain voltage. So I need the voltage to be under that level or to match that level. So the way to do that was to take the standard voltage of the panel, and basically every panel I add, the wattage goes up, but the voltage stays the same. Now another tip, when you're buying wire, buy bigger than you need. If you want to know if your wire's no good when you're done, pump about 500 to 700 watts. If it starts getting hot to the touch, you bought the wrong wire. And when buying wire, the stranded copper, the more strands the better. I actually bought a special performance, I don't know if you can see it in the video, a performance style UV protected heavy duty speaker wire. And then we're going to wire loom this or conduit later. I'm not sure which yet. But the more strands in the wire, the less heat and less problems you're going to have with it. And you probably can't see it from here, but I attached the panels by screwing through the bottom of those 5/4 boards into the actual aluminum frame. So they're not going anywhere. And I didn't have to buy all that crazy expensive tracking and the clamps and all the hardware go with it. That's where a lot of people get into a lot of money issues. And I also don't have these panels on my actual house roof because I am not interested in having leaks. So let's go inside and I'll show you the next step. As I said, the wiring just goes here, goes down, and in there, you can see the conduit. We're going to add to that later and take it all the way up. But let's go inside and check out the grid tie at work. Alright guys, this is a power jack 1800 watt grid tie inverter. Alright, you have to be very careful when you buy these to make sure the voltage matches. Alright, whatever your panels are and how you're wiring them, the voltage has to match. A lot of people say, well, those things are not, approved, the code doesn't allow it in my area, blah blah blah. Well, let me show you something. Let me show you how this hooks to your electric. See, the cord comes out and boom, it plugs right into your socket. Alright, which means it is not internally wired to your house, which means that it does not fall under code. This is legal, and all it does is offset. Now, the one problem with doing it this way, I sometimes, my meter, instead of saying delivered, which means they're delivering me electricity, it says received, as in they're receiving electricity from me. I don't get paid for that. So you want to build your system to where you're not just giving them a whole bunch of free power. You want to build your system so it's just offsetting your bill. Now, by using this, I don't have to use batteries. I'm not off grid here. I still have electric day and night. This just raises the voltage from 120, which is what my house standardly puts out, 120 or 121, up to 137 or so. That means the 137 voltage it runs through gets used by the house first, and then it uses house power second. Now, we're still early in the morning on actual day 2 of this thing, and I just have been working on some of the settings. I'm going to take you through them, but the numbers aren't exactly right because I didn't have a lot of them set when I first set this up. But I'm going to take you in the corner here, and you see over here, there's just positive and your negative you hook up. It's got fan covers and fans there, and you'll hear it start running. On this end, you got a power button, a fan. That's an AC jack if you live in the other kind, like over in the UK and stuff. That's how you would hook it up rather than that. And then you've got a fuse. Now, I've got a boat on-off switch, like a cutoff switch that's coming, and it's going to go back there, as well as a big inline fuse is going to go back in there. And then I already have everything I need except for the actual clamp to hook here and go down and out to go out to my grounding panel outside and my grounding pin that I've already got hooked to my solar panels. Ground these things, everything, solar, your inverter, everything, ground them by any means necessary. Make sure they're grounded. The chances of it getting struck by lightning are very slim, but if it does, it's basically just going to go pop and be done. So you want it grounded. Alright, let's check out the controls and see if it'll show up on camera. Alright, here, come on, focus baby. There we go. So we're making 314 watts, 307. The voltage you can see is up at 136. That's how it feeds back into the system. Your amps are 3.57. So it's producing some power. You see it dropped out to 0 there as it recalculates. 317. Now this will do this. This is overcast, mind you. But this will do this as long as there's sun up. So we can also go, see, it's been on for a total of 42 hours. Now it's not 42 hours in sun, because that's all night and everything. Alright, it has made 3 kilowatts of power so far. And I just set this actually a few hours ago, so I have it set at 14 cents. Truly by the time you're done with taxes and fee, I don't care what they tell you, they'll get you for about 18 to 20 cents a kilowatt hour. With taxes, fees, I mean they charge you 20 bucks to have a meter there on AEP. So that should tell you right off the bat. But it's a real simple system. And when it comes down to it, there's a lot of variables to this that people get overwhelmed with. It doesn't cost $10,000 to go solar. It doesn't. I had maybe $100 in that framing out there. This grid tie is an 1800 watt. It was, I think I got it on eBay. Oh, brand new. I think it was $197. And I think I talked him down because it was a best offer item. I talked down with free shipping to $175. Which you have to understand, these inverters, like, it will stay cool down here no matter what. Up here it gets hot, but not hot enough that, like, you can't touch it. And the fan does a good job of blowing the heat out. But I mean, it's converting a lot of power. I mean, that's only when it gets up to like 800 watts. But in the winter, I mean, that's just free heat for your house. You can't complain about that. The wiring, I bought a roll and I did both of my arrays, and I still have another piece left over. I think I paid $20 for it. The switches that are coming in the fusing are about $10 each, so that's another $20. And then the panels. Now, I bought 10 panels and ended up getting them for $1,300. That's $130 a panel. I actually found them on Craigslist. The guy bought an entire shipping container of panels and did like 40 of them or 50 of them on his house, and then another 40 or 50 on his parents' house, just to completely kill his electric bill. And he was doing his, you know, where you get the expensive grid ties and you have all your stuff inspected. He was doing his the right way and trying to make money off AEP, and they found a way to basically give him nothing. But I bought them new, 10 of them, for $130 a panel, so $1,300, plus we had to drive up by Cleveland to get them, so I call that about another $100, because that box was big and it was hard to get home because it's stuck above the cab of the truck. You can actually hear the fan running now, cooling it down. We're at 328 watts, 320 watts. But the panels actually are what they call blemish panels. You might see like a little spot on them, makes them not look pretty. But most times if you try and go buy solar panels and you don't look around for a good deal, they'll get you for $1 a watt. That means those panels would have been $285 per panel plus shipping, and I wasn't having that. Now my area, I've already seen 2 different suppliers. The guy that I got this from, and then there's another guy down south that has 300 watt panels, and I think his were $170 to $200 a piece, which is still a heck of a deal. I mean, this is what you need to look for. This is how you save money. But let's go out and look at the panel on ground level and kind of give you a comparison of where people are getting screwed on solar panels. Alright, so here's 3 of the panels that I use. Now, this is where people get ripped off. This is a 100-watt solar panel. They're everywhere. You can get them between $90 and $100 just about everywhere. That is not going to do crap for your solar bill, for your power bill. 100 watts is not enough to make any kind of real substantial debt. You will take forever to pay off your equipment. They're a pain in the butt. It costs more for hardware, more for wiring. It is literally a scam. If you've got an off-grid cabin somewhere, or a hunting cabin, and you just need a light, you know, you're going to take and throw a battery in there, or, you know, just a light, or maybe you need to charge your cell phone. Yeah, buy this. You can get a whole kit for like $100. It's got a charger, and it may even come with one light. All you got to do is add a battery of some kind, preferably a deep cycle or a solar. Yeah, that's great for that. But it takes 3 of those to even come up to the level that I'm doing with one of these panels, these big panels. So that's $100, and that I paid $130. Now you could get as high as, you know, $200, but if you shop around, you can get these panels reasonably priced. So that's just the trap I'm trying to avoid everyone from falling into. Also, the small ones run on 12 volt. And if you buy equipment for that, then your equipment's going to be for 12 volt. And it's almost impossible to find bigger panels at 12 volt. If they are, they're older and they're not as efficient. You want to be up anywhere from 24 to 48 volt, which is basically what the rest of equipment can hold. I mean, this is like hobbyist, we're going to get all your money from you. This is what your solar installer comes and puts on your house to really make a difference. Now, speaking of difference, a lot of people think, well, hook this up and my power bill will go in half because I'm not using any daytime power. That's wrong. Realistically, most of us work during the day, so we're not home. But what saves you power is because you've invested in solar, you think more consciously about solar. You think about the fact that you need to turn things off. Another quick investment that will actually get you your money back extremely fast is at Dollar Tree, and at most dollar stores now, they sell LED light bulbs, and they're $1 a piece. And I kid you not, I went through and changed every one in my house and saved $20 the next month. So I paid off all the light bulbs. A 60-watt bulb, standard incandescent bulb, versus a 7-watt LED bulb that does the same thing. That's 60 watts for every hour it's on. 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Which means, for example, that solar panel right there couldn't keep up with 2 60-watt bulbs on per hour if it was getting full power. So regular old style light bulbs are guzzlers. I mean, they actually drink power. So that was an easy way. I put a timer on my hot water tank, and everybody's afraid to do that. And I'm going to tell you, I'd probably saved another $20 a month doing that. I have it on for the evenings when we're getting our showers and stuff, and I have it on for a few hours in the morning. But instead of heating that water 24/7, I have it shut off midday and late at night when nobody uses it. And then even if I like come in midday and need to do some dishes, there's still hot water in the tank to do dishes and stuff. So it's not like really it needs to be on all the time. But once again, now between the lights and the timer on the hot water heater, you know, I'm down $40 a month. I'm paying $40 less than I was. Now, cable boxes and desktop computers are monsters too. They actually drink a lot of power. I'm not going to try and go into too much on this stuff, but to give you an example, our average electric bill when we moved in here was about $260 a month, at least in the winter. In the summer it was about $200. But as I said, you shave $40 off, and then we added a 2-panel solar array on our front porch roof, which isn't pointing south, but it was just the most convenient place to do it. And a little 1,000-watt grid tie, which is part of, that's all the second array. I'll make another video and show you guys that. But just by adding that, in the summertime when I was getting maximum sun, I was saving about another $20 a month, I'd say. And now that the big array's up, we're probably going to be coming in at about $75 to $80 a month in electric bill. Now I do have 3 panels here, plus this little guy. If I wanted to build another array, I could, but we're not really sure yet. We're looking at another project, an off-grid project that we may be doing in upcoming videos. So right now I'm just kind of letting them sit in here and rest. But for my 2 arrays, both my grid ties, all the wiring, switches, all that stuff, everything, I actually have invested less than $2,000. Now mind you, I already told you that I'm saving about 20-ish bucks a month off my 2-panel array. So essentially that grid tie has already been paid off, and I'm working on paying off the panels because it's been up for quite a few months. Now I've got the big array up, paying off. So when a company comes out and tries to sell you solar where they install it, they'll tell you, well, we could probably get this system paid off in 15 to 20 years. You know, it'll pay for itself in that distance of time. And these panels last 30 years, you know. I'm not going to say these cheaper grid ties we use are going to last 30 years, but the panels will. They'll keep working even after the 30 years. But I would say ours will be paid off completely in probably, if you're not counting these 3 here, because they're going to be in a completely different style system, you'll probably see our payoff in about 3 to 5 years. So you can look at it how you want. You can pay people $20,000, $30,000 to put solar on your house, or you can do your own research, figure it out. It's not that hard. And I mean, I'm always willing to answer questions and help where I can. I'm not a professional. Don't do things the way I do them. You know, take better safety measures. Go overboard on your wire size. If there's anything I can give you, you know, advice on, go overboard on your wire size. And just think, nature can come work for us and we don't hurt it. Go look up your square footage of your house, and then go look up how much coal has to be burnt in order to provide that electricity for your house. Or think about how many gallons of gas. We all walk through the forest, and at a lot of these parks and stuff, you're seeing the gas lines and the oil runs. I mean, AEP just came through here and basically put a road all the way through my woods, spent thousands and thousands of dollars that they're going to take right back from us in taxes to put a road through my woods to put up new power lines because we're drinking more power than they can keep up with. So they don't like you doing this because basically you're taking their money, but at the same time they're not going to say anything because they don't want to have to build new power plants. They don't want to have to add second boats carrying coal up rivers to power plants. Just take a moment and figure out how much your house uses kilowatt hours, and compare that to the cost for a year. And wait till you see how many tons of coal it takes just to run your house in 1 year. This is a small price to invest in the next 30 years of your life. And you can start small. Grab you 2 or 3 of these big panels and build you a ground mount. You know, dig you a trench, put some wire and conduit, run it into your house or your garage, and plug it in. You know, put a few safety measures in, a cutoff switch, and, you know, and just let it run. It doesn't have batteries you gotta take care of. There's nothing fancy. These guys are trying to sell you all this fancy stuff. Yeah, it's good equipment, but I'm using the exact same panels they are. My grid ties may not be as expensive, but they still work just as well. They have the same safety features. The power goes out, all my grid ties have what's called islanding protection, which protects it basically shuts the inverter off when there's no power in the house. So if your electric goes out, the inverter turns off instantly. That is actually something that's made to protect the guys that'll be out fixing your electric on the poles. So you don't have to worry about anybody, you know, being hurt or anything. Everything's island protected. And this is just a simple way to lessen our footprint in the world. And it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. And you're basically getting paid back every month on your electric bill. Now, this is going to be a separate series and a playlist, but just to show some numbers, I'm going to start posting up some numbers as they come in so that you guys know what my electric bill is doing, because these will not perform as good in the winter. They will probably only make half as much as long as I keep the snow kept off of them, because there's just less sunlight. But we also will be working on a couple videos with some wind stuff in the future too, so keep your eyes out for that. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. But until next time, keep thinking about ways to get out in nature or let nature help you.